oh, the sirens are going off! Hide your kids! Hide your wife! Siren Head will eat them all! Siren Head was created in 2018 by artist Trevor Henderson and has since blown up into myth and legend, but what's the difference between fact and fiction? That's what we're exploring today. Greetings gamers and welcome back to Top 10 Gaming. I'm your host Connor Monroe, and your stomach is filled with a liquid that can dissolve rocks but not bubblegum. The world has gone crazy this year, and honestly the next thing I'm expecting is the reveal of a hideous monster from another world. So why don't we talk about one with today's list of the top 10 scary Siren Head facts. If you haven't yet, hit like and subscribe so we can roll the intro. And at 10, no brain energy. Honestly, one of the scariest things about the monster is starting us off, so you know that this is going to be one hell of a list. If you can get a good look at Siren Head before being eaten, you'll be able to tell that he actually doesn't really have a place for a brain, which is weird since this guy is making big brain plays on the daily, pulling pro gamer moves to devour his prey, but has no brain to help him calculate his movements. While yes, that may seem like it puts him at a disadvantage, obviously it doesn't because nobody has actually encountered Siren Head and lived. Aside from the few that he leaves, presumably to spread the word that the horrific monster is here. And if you think about it, having no brain will also make him more feral, so he can act irrationally without any thought at any given moment. First he's pretending he's a tree and then boom, he's chasing you and you have nowhere to run. And at 9, Siren Adverse. Now if you think that Siren Head is scary, trust me, you're probably going to need to change your pants after I drop this truth bomb on you. The artist responsible for creating Siren Head, Trevor Henderson, has also created more than just him, meaning that along with Siren Head, there's a whole universe of monsters that are going to stalk you and keep you up at night. These monsters include the Bloodlusts, which are a form of food for Siren Head, Longhorse, which is a horse with long appendages that can make new joints at will, and the Bridgeworm, that will make you think about both snipping your kid as well as making you never want to eat a burrito again. But eating tacos is fine, because they are the superior food. Not to mention the fact that there are multiple Siren Heads. Yeah, the sightings for this monster place him all over the globe. And I don't care how tall you are, there's no way in hell you're going to get across the ocean. I doubt this thing is able to swim for sure. And he ain't hitched a ride on a plane. The fact that there's a whole universe of them is terrifying. And if there are other Earths, there is at least one of them where all these monsters are real. Yeah, let's hope that that's not the one that NASA discovered. I mean, Trevor did actually say that Siren Head was the only one of his species, but perhaps there are more Siren Heads from other universes. Or he can hold his breath underwater. And at 8, abilities. Like one of the most terrifying supervillains ever, of course Siren Head had to come with his own set of supernatural abilities. Not only is he super strong, he is super fast. He can mess up your mind to make you walk towards him, and he is a master of stealth, like Snake. He can also use the sirens on his head to mimic basically anything, from static to an alarm to even the voices of friends and family, making you want to come even closer. But he also may even have the ability to shape-shift. If you look at Trevor Henderson's latest Instagram post about Siren Head, at least at the time of this recording, you can see that he is basically blended in with the power lines and can honestly just be considered a light post at first glance. Considering how he can blend in with any environment, I don't think shape-shifting is out of the question anymore. And at 7, Kidnapping. With all the talk about Siren Head just eating and devouring people at his leisure, it's actually fairly shocking to find out that some people just get taken. One of the individuals who witnessed this shares his story on Reddit and has said his name is Chad. I mean, seems a little sus to me, but whatever. On July 16, 1995, he and his buddies Kyle and Karen, he never actually says their names, but that's what I'm assuming their names are, were out hiking in the woods where they encountered the Radiohead reject. Siren Head managed to grab his buddies and then began mimicking their voices with his sirens. Chad seemed to think it was to prevent any rescue mission or throw people off their scent, but like, why would he need to do that? Siren Head is a 40-foot tall beast that kills for breakfast. A search party would be like a brunch buffet. However, I think the most unlikely part of the story is that Chad was found with only minor injuries, but his friends were never found. Pretty sure you just killed them, Chad. Siren Head wouldn't stop at just 2 pieces of human jerky, he'd want all 3. But I mean, there has to be someone to tell the story, right? And at 6, enemies. It was actually confirmed by Trevor Henderson that Siren Head and Longhorse are aware of one another, and they are potentially enemies due to their different views of humanity. This opens up a whole new can of worms. Like, does Siren Head have morals? How exactly does he see us? Does he see us as food, or does he want to protect us for another reason? How exactly does Longhorse view us? Obviously, they are the opposites, they antagonize each other, but are they polar opposites, or are they only on different sides slightly? Nobody really knows, and only time will tell, and time ain't talking. Halfway through number 5, games. Siren Head has had a long history in all sorts of media, short stories, short films, songs, images, games, but it's the latter I want to focus on here. There is one Siren Head game of which I know of, and it's like 2 minutes long and just has you walk through a specific path. However, there is one game that I've played on the channel that was incredibly popular at the time, the Whispering Hills mod for Fallout 4. This mod adds Silent Hill monsters into the game as well as the one and only Siren Head. However, there isn't only one in this game, he does respawn. He can also be killed. The thing is that the mod is one of the scariest things in the world. Sure, it was scary when I played it on this channel, but when I played it just on my own in VR, it was something else entirely. The experience of actually meeting Siren Head was extremely terrifying, even when I had no actual chance of dying. After killing it, he spawned in twin screamers, and it was increasingly horrific. And that combined with all the other monsters was truly something to behold. The nurses? Very confusing. If you have the opportunity to experience this mod in VR, I highly recommend it. You can get the game off of g2a.com for like 20 bucks, and then you can like use like Riftcat or something to play it with your phone or something like that. Sure, maybe Siren Head isn't as tall as he would normally be, but holy crap, it's the closest thing you will ever get to actually meeting Siren Head in real life. I hope. And for history, Siren Head's history is actually really short compared to any other cryptid or internet myth like Slender Man. After Trevor Henderson tweeted a photo of him in 2018, nobody really knew about the monster. However, there seem to be cave paintings of Siren Head and sightings dating back all the way to 1960. But how could this be true if Henderson created him in 2018? Well, perhaps the creature is in fact real and Trevor was the first one to ever actually see him and survive. Or perhaps we are just associating long stick figures with this creature decades later. And would you really want this to be real? I mean, like, look at all the monsters in the same universe as Siren Head. If he was real, that would make the other ones real as well. I'm already scared enough walking through the woods at 3 AM because that's something I do on a regular basis, and I don't want to be even more terrified because a creature the size of my apartment building that can mimic the sounds of my loved ones is real. Jeez, I already don't sleep enough. And at 3, nuclear. Aside from being in the Fallout 4 mod, which relates into a nuclear apocalypse, the mimicking abilities of Siren Head can spell out doom for us all if he decides to just be a massive troll. If Siren Head was to situate himself near the White House in Washington, D.C., and then mimic the sounds of an incoming nuclear missile, Siren Head would straight up start World War III. We were already worried about that earlier this year, and look where we are now. Sure, it comes in useful for capturing victims, but causing the potential annihilation of the human race and probably surviving it because you're just a freaking beast is probably the way this guy can narrow it down to just him and Longhorse if he ever wants to make the greatest YouTube video ever. Real life Siren Head versus Longhorse Ultimate Deathmatch. I would click on that, assuming I was still alive because I managed to get into Vault 111. Because we know that the only real way to find out if the monsters are real is to burn everything down and then constantly search for them. Huh. Maybe Damien Dark was right. It's the only way. He really just wanted to find Bigfoot. And at 2, features. Well, now we know about his abilities, what about Siren Head's actual looks? Is he a Chad or is he a Kyle? Is he as pasty as me or does he have a body like Kim K? Well, actually, there are several things you'll notice right off the bat, like the fact that he is 40 foot tall, the same size as a shipping container that people use to make tiny houses. He has mummified skin with a texture that will make you puke your guts out if you ever saw it in real life, and oh my god, can you imagine the smell? His arms are as long as his body, meaning he won't have to bend over to grab you, and his head can spin 360 degrees like an owl, meaning that no matter where you are, he will be able to see you easily. His speakers are made of metal and are fused to his head, making that the only metal on his body, and he has wires wrapped around his body, neck, and head that start shaking when he gets angry. What? Also, his neck is longer than mine. If those details didn't send you running back into your bed to hide under the covers, then you're our kind of people, so be sure you're hitting like and subscribe to stay up to date with all the gaming content. Segue. Finally, and at number 1, The Hunt. While all of these facts are truly terrifying, I think the one thing we can all agree on is that we would never want to encounter Siren Head in real life. And that the scariest thing out of all of these facts is that he eats humans. This guy will literally chomp you down like scrambled eggs at a retirement home breakfast buffet. It was brought up almost every number. Like the fact that a key factor of Siren Head's behavior is that he is just trying to find more than just turkey jerky is something that everyone should be concerned about. And it does. At least, I hope it does. 2020 isn't really looking too hot, so I mean, maybe nothing scares us anymore. But now if Siren Head was revealed as true, I don't think we would care. We've had a pandemic, Tiger King, World War III, confirmed aliens, which nobody talked about, murder hornets, a parallel universe, and Burger King making a Taylor Swift joke. At this point, maybe Siren Head will be a relief so I can get grounded back into reality. Whoever wrote the script for the simulation really gave up after 2019 DLCs. There we have it, friends, the top 10 scary Siren Head facts. Which facts surprised you the most on this list, and do you have any points you'd like to see if we do a part 2? Let me know below, and on your way down, be sure you hit like and subscribe for daily gaming content and ring that bell to join the clan and level up. Thank you all so much for watching. I have been and shall remain Connor Monroe, and I'll see you in another video.